Inya Kalae Vanakkam. Good morning, everybody. I was also going to say to the Chief Minister, in fact, I did say to the Chief Minister, Inya Pirananalvatakal. My name is Oliver Ball-Hatchett, and I am the British Deputy High Commissioner here in Chennai. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate the Chief Minister, the Government of Tamil Nadu on this initiative today. It is yet another demonstration of their dedication to the success of this great state of Tamil Nadu. The ambition of a 1 trillion economy for Tamil Nadu by 2030 is inspirational, and I'm sure this is just one of the steps towards that. And they can count on the United Kingdom, my country, the United Kingdom, as a partner, particularly the British Deputy High Commission in Chennai and the British Council in Chennai. So let me tell you a little bit about myself first. I am one of 4 children. I grew up in a town called Windsor, just outside London. You might have heard of Windsor. It's where the Queen lives. But I wasn't born into royalty. I went to a government school in that town with my brothers and sisters. And my mother and father owned a small music shop. And then they later owned a small computer repair business. I did okay at school. I was pretty good at school, actually. I was pretty good at maths in particular. Until the age of about 13, I was sort of top of my class, but then my grades started to drop. But I still made it through school, and I got to university, and I studied law. And after that, I didn't really know what I was going to do with my life, so I started to travel. I traveled around the world for quite a few years. I ended up in India. I went to a school in Patiala in Punjab, and I taught there for 3 months. This was in 1998. Seems like a different world. And then after that, I traveled around India, but I never made it as far south as Chennai. I wish I had. But 20 years later, I now see what a beautiful city and state you live in. At the age of 26, I was living in Ecuador, teaching English. Ecuador is a small country in South America. I'd chosen to go there to learn Spanish and to teach English. And I had no idea still what I was going to do with my life. And I saw an advert. In fact, my father sent me an advert, maybe that was a hint, that said I could go and work for the British Foreign Service. I could be a diplomat. And I just needed a degree and a variety of life experience. And I thought, well, I've got both those things. So I applied, and I was rejected. A year later, I applied again, and I was rejected. And a year after that, I applied again, and I was accepted. So finally, at the age of 29, I joined the British Foreign Service. And here I am, a number of years later, living in Chennai with my wife and my 2 children. My son actually was born in Chennai, so I will always have that connection with this city. Now, I was thinking about what I'd say today. I was thinking about what I would say to myself when I was at school, what I will say to my children as they're growing up. My children are young. They're only 2 and 6 years old. And I have no regrets in life. I've had an interesting life. I've traveled the world. I've even played cricket for 2 countries. See, Natarajan's a good cricketer, but he hasn't played for 2 countries. I played for Brazil and Peru, so the standards of cricket in Brazil and Peru are not India, but there we go. But I've had a good life, but what would I say to myself? See, it's difficult, isn't it? Because for my children, my youngest son, too, who's 2 years old, he might still be working close to the next century. For you guys who are going to graduate soon, you'll still be working in 50 years' time. It's very difficult to know what skills you will need in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, let alone 50 years' time. And also, what career will you have? Will you have one career? These days, people have many careers. So you need to make a habit out of lifelong learning. You need to keep reskilling to keep pace with this ever-changing world. And as you do so, I thought about 3 tips. So these are my 3 tips, okay, for what you should do as you go forward on your educational path throughout life. Firstly, I'd say be honest with yourself about what you really love, and then do that. And if maths or engineering is what you really love, great. You were born in the right state for that. If it's music, art, or dance, in fact, you were probably born in the right state for that too. But if it's that, do that. And if your parents insist on you studying maths or medicine or engineering, and you have no choice, but you really love music, then do the music on the side. But find something you love and do it. I think about, I said that when I was 13, my grades at school started to fall, and I think about why that was now. And I think it was because I wasn't honest with myself back then about what I really loved. I remember choosing German over chemistry, and I loved chemistry, and I was pretty good at it. But for some reason, I chose German. So my first tip is, find out what you love and do that. My second tip is know how you learn. So it took me a long, long time to realize that the best way I can learn is by teaching and by doing. Other people, they learn by reading or listening or talking. So learn how you learn. And the good news is that these days, the tools, courses, options that are available to you to learn are much more varied and much better, and they will get better and better with time. In my day, you had a book and you had a teacher. Now, there's a variety of ways you can learn. So, know how you learn. My third tip is to cling on to your creativity. So Picasso, the great Spanish painter and sculptor, said that all children are born artists. The problem is to remain an artist as you grow up. And one of the reasons I think that we lose our creativity as we grow up is that we become afraid to fail. So please, don't be afraid to fail. Try, fail, try until you succeed. But don't be afraid to fail. So that's my third tip. Cling on to your creativity for as long as you can. So those are my 3 tips. Be honest about what you love, know how you learn, and cling on to your creativity. So I'm just going to tell you a very short story. My daughter, who is now 6, 4 weeks ago, my daughter decided she wanted to learn how to ride a bicycle. And I watched in awe as in 3 days she went from not being able to ride a bicycle to flying around as fast as anything. In 3 days, she had learned a lifelong skill. And I looked at that and I thought, and I wondered what I had learned in those 3 days. And it was very little. And I realized, watching her learn how to ride a bicycle in 3 days, the power of the human capacity to learn. It's incredible and it's almost limitless. We're great at using this capacity when we're young, but we lose it as adults. I also saw that the passion that she had for riding her bicycle was what helped her learn in 3 days. So, today, as we celebrate the launch of Tamil Nadu's new skills program, I say to you, never stop learning. Embrace the tools available in Tamil Nadu and across the world. Look out for our own British Council library and courses, which are designed to create opportunities for young people to succeed in a globalized world. And when you are ready for it, look out for our scholarships to go and study in the UK too. COVID has taken 2 years away from us. Young people were spared some of the worst of the virus, but perhaps you suffered the most from the consequences. You lost 2 years of full-time learning. But I'm optimistic for 2022 and beyond. This is your time now. Go out there and make the most of every opportunity you are given. Congratulations again to the Chief Minister and to all his team. And I would say, Kuturutuka Sendra Edam Elam Sirupu. Nandri.
Thank you so much, sir. கற்றோர்க்கு சென்ற இடமெல்லாம் சிறப்பு. கேட்க ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்ததுல, ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய கைத்தட்டல் கொடுக்கலாம். Thank you so much for your words of wisdom, sir.